And here I am. So I'm going to analyze the record games of the Showmatch between Mr. Yo and Liereyy. It was played on the beginning of January or in the end of December, I'm not sure, and it was sponsored by Paladin from SY. The series was played in best of 7, so at least one player had to win at least 4 times to be considered the winner of the series, and they draft civilizations using the CoTD role. You want to know more about the settings? I'm going to leave some links so you guys can know it, but you are already familiar, just enjoy. Also, this is really interesting game and analysis if you are someone looking to improve and to understand more about the game. So let's see. The first game of this match is showing us Mr. Liereyy playing as the Mongols. And Mr. Yo is playing as the Persian. So we have Mongols for Liereyy and Persians for Yo. A small recap on the main bonus of both civilizations. Mongols are most known because they have a hunting bonus, so they can get food from boars and deer a lot faster. That's Liereyy is already using this advantage with 1 minute of the game by pushing this deer because he knows that his villagers are going to eat this much faster than they would eat a sheep. This will give him an initial boost on economy. Mr. Yo, playing as the Persian, has an natural advantage economically in the beginning because the Persians start with 50 more food and 50 more wood. That's really strong civilization, especially for maps like Nomad and things like this, but nothing special for Arabia, in my opinion. Both players are luring the deers, which are going to give them good food income, especially if they want to go for scouts. This is really important and can boost your economy. This is used by most experts, no doubt about this. And Liereyy, let me even put it a bit slower, is going for a build order using 4 villagers on the wood. With 4 villagers on the wood as Mongols, this can really mean anything. Because the Mongols have a huge food advantage, they do not need to put only 3 villagers if they want to go scouts. He can still go faster scouts than any other civilization by going with 3 villagers here, so it says nothing. He lured 2 deers and he went to scout Mr. Yo. With 5 minutes, this guy find all his resources. He realized that he has one small backwood positioned with his main gold, another front wood that he already made a lumber camp here, and the other woods are really far, so these two are the ones that he should use in the early game. Maybe later on Castle Age he can use the others, but really not now, that's not an option. About his resources, his map has not much hills. It's not so easy to wall, but it's also not impossible. If you want, he could wall a few areas to make it a bit more easy to defend, but in general, it's not so good to defense. Because look at all those spaces open between his resources. It's not easy to wall. For example, if he cannot wall just here because his gold is outside, and he cannot wall in front of the gold. He might try to make buildings in front of the gold or in this area where he already did 2 houses, but he will probably play without making a full wall. That's what I expect from this map. I don't think this is advantageous to all of this map. About his golds that are also important, he has 2 golds close together on the left side. This can be a risk because Mr. Yo can just forward here and take away his 2 golds, so he should be aware of this. And Liereyy is going up with Pop 19. Uh, Honestly, guys, in my opinion, he's going for the scouts. The best thing that Mongols can do are the scout rush because of their food bonus. So, and also they have more loss, so he already explored most of the map. Mr. Yo is also going for the feudal age with a few seconds behind. He's probably going with Pop 20, 1 villager more, so they won't be so far off in this with these times. And Liereyy is going to make here a barracks. He will probably be able to protect his wood here by doing a stable here on the front and maybe completing this small piece of wall if he wants. And he's also abusing of his deers, getting the 3rd one, so he'll have a huge food income from the beginning of the game. Let me just check something on the achievements. We can see, for example, that Mr. Liereyy has already gathered much more food than Mr. Yo and much more wood because of this economic bonus. He gathered at least 100 more food, 150 maybe, and almost 150 more wood. So it's almost 300 resource advantage because of this, considering that the Persians have more resources in the beginning. That's interesting. Really interesting. Let me see any more stuff. Hmm. What more? Oh, I see. He's walling, eh, guys? That's look at this. Liereyy is starting to make palisades. He knows that his map is so open, so even if he cannot wall 100% his wall in the front, he will probably make a stable here. But I want to analyze a bit Mr. Yo before we went back to Liereyy. Mr. Yo, guys, is doing a build order to go here for scouts. Since he's the Persians, he cannot do an economy as strong as the Mongols. But guys, a Pop 20 build order is really a fast one. It's hard to manage to make some, but in order to achieve this, Mr. Yo had to make only one lumber camp against two from Liereyy, so he might also have a disadvantage during the feudal age because of this. And he's making a house here on the top of his map, starting to wall. So Mr. Yo map is a bit more favorably to walling. He can wall himself on the feudal age, but to develop his economy on castle, he'll probably have to go outside of his walls. One thing that's really risky about Mr. Yo's map is that he has a front gold, a front stone. The other golds are also in the front, so if Liereyy goes forward or really aggressive, Mr. Yo can be denied from his gold, and this will ultimately lead to his death. And both players are just starting to make scouts. This wall was funny, huh? He could do a bit in the front, maybe. And Liereyy is going for the horse collar, so his plan here is to spend farms on feudal age. Same for Mr. Yo, who's also going for horse collar and double beat X. Both players are walling parts of their base, but I can see a better walling scenario here for Mr. Yo. He can just finish the wall here, close to his house, to his stable, wall in front of his gold, and he will be fine. This wood is a bit exposed, but if he can scout this, Liereyy probably won't be able to put a tower or anything at it. So it's up to those guys to play on their maps. Let's see. Advancing a bit, Liereyy is making scouts, same for Mr. Yo, and they are probably start the first engages. Liereyy sees that Mr. Yo has a few scouts waiting in a strategical position. Mr. Yo is already finishing to wall all the front of his map and also the back, so in a few seconds, guys, Mr. Yo will be fully walled, and this will be really great. Look at this. He already completed his walls, so right now, guys, Mr. Yo has the flexibility to stop making scouts and go for castle, or just mass scouts. He can do anything. And Liereyy cannot use the scouts to kill Mr. Yo economy, so that wall in here was a great move for him. And as for Liereyy, he's adding an archery range. Huh? Interesting. So he plans to change into archers. Let's see. He's already going for the gold. Mr. Yo is not. He's spamming more farms. No, now he's going for the gold. But I'm not sure about Mr. Yo going for archers. We are not seeing archery ranges yet, and he's really investing into scouts. Huh? He killed a few scouts from Liereyy. Liereyy was trying to wall the top of his side, that it's a bit worse to making walls. Mr. Yo was able to kill him, to kill his scouts, but he saved his villager with this quick walling. Now Mr. Yo coming to raid his wood, but Liereyy reacts fast, making a spearman to defend. two spearmen right now, the third one here coming, and he's switching into archers, guys. But remember that Mysterio is the Persians, and the Persians, they have bonus against archers, guys. Their knights are stronger against archers. They have a +2 bonus against any kind of archers. Oh shit. Oh boy, Liereyy just lost his villager in the way to complete a blacksmith. This is really a throwback because the archers are only good when they have fletching. Before fletching, archers are not that good and they take a lot to kill villagers. They have one less range. Mysterio doing a great micro with his scouts here. He killed the villager, killed already 2 spearmen. Liereyy now bringing more. Oh my god, another villager at risk, but was saved in the last second by a quick walling. Mysterio here fighting all the spearmen, man. Look at this. He already killed 3, 4. He's really showing off how to kill spearmen using his scouts. That's nice. Liereyy now housed it. That's the problem with not walling the base, huh? Maybe Liereyy should have added more scouts here. Maybe. But no, he got a good shot on the scouts, huh? The scouts are just running around, trying to annoy him. Liereyy now doing the well barrel. It seems, guys, that the archers won't be able to do damage during the feudal age because Mysterio is already on his way to castle. This is going to be hard. He's already making a second stable, so he plans to go into knights, maybe camels later. He now did a second lumber camp to boost his economy, a lot of farmings, and he also made a tower to protect his gold from forwards maybe, so this is really good for him. Liereyy now doing a market. It appears to me that he might use the market to balance his economy. Let's see. Scale, barding armor for Mysterio. He already has the bloodline, so his knights will already have armor and a few more hit points. Liereyy now clicked castle with a lot of archers. Oh, but he sees the tower. And he sees that Yo is about to go castle, so there's nothing he can do and he's returning base. He knows that with like 5 knights, Mysterio could kill all those archers with no trouble. And Mysterio already has 2 knights on the way of Lierey's base. After having to make a tower, Mysterio is now switching 2 villagers to stone because he wants to have stone for more TCs later. Liereyy trying to defend himself. Mysterio using his advantage, making now a monastery. He can use this to collect relics and maybe to make a few monks and heal his knights after a few raidings. Mysterio trying to snipe a few villagers. Now Liereyy doing a TC. But guys, even the knights being strong, man, this is a huge number of archers. I can count now 26 crossbows for Liereyy. All of those with Bodkin arrow, and guys is making an university, which can only mean that he's aiming for the ballistics upgrade, which will be a great addition to his crossbow army. He made a second TC here. He has 5 spearmen, 4 actually, working on his defense. He's also making a camel here. Sending forward. Mysterio is collecting relics and sending his cavalry here. He might try to raid Liereyy. Let's see how it goes. Oh, Liereyy saw. He has a lot of spearmen here defending. He might be able to take down a few scouts, maybe a few knights. And he quick walled his woods. His crossbows are here, trying to attack Mysterio. Mysterio has a second TC here. Liereyy defended his villagers, but he has a lot of idle time. He might even lose this villager here. And all the knights are intact, so this was a really good fight for Mysterio against the spearmen. Let's see how it goes. Liereyy also trying to go for a monk as well. Mysterio here trying to break a house. Liereyy now making monks to defend himself. And trying to go the other way to raid Mysterio. Oh, but he might be in trouble now. Mysterio has not only a lot of knights, but he has also a mangonel to stop the crossbows. Those knights alone could do the job if they had a good fight, but Liereyy has the ballistics, has the high ground. I do not think it's possible. So Yo is playing safe. Okay, the monk doing the trick here. Do not forget, guys, that Liereyy has the bodkin arrow and the ballistic, so his DCs are a great weapon. Oh, but Mysterio took the archers here. They were unprotected. They were just walking by, and then Yo just surprised those archers with 12 knights, it seems. Huh? Oh my god, look at this. This is a massacre. Whew. Now I can see tumbling for Liereyy, but after losing this number of archers, man, things does not look good. Doesn't look good for him. Let's talk a bit about the economy. Let me even slow the game a bit. Mr. Yo, guys, has 3 town centers as the Persians, and since he walled and also invested in defenses with towers, he didn't lose villagers to Liereyy. So right now he has 81 villagers. Despite going knights that are a bit heavy for the economy, he has a good number of villagers. As for Liereyy, we can see here that he is being under attack of Mr. Yo. He had a lot of idle time because he had to build this, he was into the TC, he was being raided on Feudal Age, being raided on Castle Age, so he lost villagers. He made a late third TC and he has a lot less villagers. There's a clear 10 villager advantage now for Mr. Yo, not to count the idle time. Huh? Mr. Yo now coming with a big arm of knights, and guys, this might look bad. Let's see how this is gonna go. Liereyy saw and he's going for the heal. Interesting. Maybe he can try some micro here. But well, this is really not good. I think that Liereyy should switch into camels. I do not like the crossbows in this game. Maybe he could have just went for camels. Oh, but Mr. Yo using his mangonel lost the mangonel here to Liereyy. With 4 monks behind, those crossbows can have a bit more flexibility because Mysterio can just convert 4 knights from can just lose 4 knights to Liereyy. And Liereyy now adding another stable. Interesting. And he has almost the resources to go up. Huh? Is he going up? Probably. Mr. Yo is doing now the chain barding armor, the +2 defense from the knights. Liereyy is going up. Oh, Liereyy was trying to make a wall here, but well, Mr. Yo didn't let him finish it. Now he's in trouble, huh? He's being raided on the right side by Mr. Yo, and Mr. Yo is bringing a lot of villagers, guys. No one brings 6 villagers up front, 7 villagers actually, if they do not intend to make a castle. So we can expect a castle drop for Mr. Yo, probably on this big hill here to secure this position. Let's see how it goes, huh? GG. Liereyy knows that Mr. Yo doing this castle here will deprive him from his main gold, will give Mr. Yo a good access to this area. He also won't be able to develop to the left side, so he just gave up. I think that the game was won, not now, but during the feudal and castle age by the raidings of Mr. Yo. He did a great use of his knights, and right now it's 1-0 for Liereyy, man. Really interesting, really interesting. Think Dench saying, whoa, Stark, very nice stream. Thank you, man. GOA points here as well. GOA point, I was explaining before, but this is a series of games between Liereyy and Mr. Yo. It's a best of 7 that they played. It was a show match. 7 games were played, so guys, the score is 4 to someone and 3 to the other. Those guys had some intense fightings, huh? Those games were just posted on AOC Zone. They were played in the last few days. I wasn't here, so I couldn't cast them live or anything. I just cast the first game. It was a clear victory for Mr. Yo using the Persians. It was a really interesting game. Project Belgium also telling us bad news, man, about the scheduler of Frantic. Oh, that's bad, man. This is bad. Yeah, it was a $200 show match sponsored by Paladin. Guys, let's go for the second game between Mr. Liereyy and Mr. Yo. In the second game, we can see that Liereyy is playing as the Malians, an interesting civilization. Also, we can see that Mr. Yo is playing as the Japanese, so Malians for Liereyy and Japanese for Mr. Yo. Let's just recap the most important bonus from those civilizations. The most important bonus from the Malians is that their buildings cost a bit less wood. Let me check how much because I don't remember. All the buildings except the farms cost 50% less wood, so they can make cheaper barracks, cheaper houses, cheaper TC, cheaper stables, cheaper archery ranges, everything that they make using wood, with the exception of the farms, is cheaper. So this civilization has a huge boost on their economy just by that. Also, they have a second big bonus, that it's the free gold mining upgrades. When they make a mining camp, they do not need to research the gold mining upgrade. They already have it, so they can have a wood and a gold upgrade going on really early on the game. It's really nice for them. Really great bonus. Also, they have some bonus for infantry. They have good cavalry, so they are really versatile civilization. Do not stick with this infantry and cavalry thing, because with this bonus they can just go crossbows and have better crossbows because of their economy. So that's the bonus from Mr. Liereyy civilization. I personally consider the Malians one of the best civilizations of this game. And on the opposite side, we can see here Mr. Yo. And Mr. Yo, guys, is playing as the Japanese. The Japanese are non-civilization. They relate back to Age of Kings, the first game of the Age of Empires 2 series. And they're one of the most important economic bonus from the Japanese is that their lumber camps, mills, and mining camps cost 50% less. So you just spent the same that Liereyy for doing two lumber camps. This is really, really good for the economy. It's really worth for players to make mills on deers, to make more lumber camps. This can do really, really a lot of miracles in a player's economy. Also, the Japanese have strong infantry. Their infantry attack faster, which is really good for Drush and men-at-arms, but especially for men-at-arms because this bonus grows according to the age. And on Wololo Kingdoms, guys, the Japanese also have the bloodlines. So the Knight line now is really strong for the Japanese. Let me see here. Now that we have talked a bit about the civilizations, we can see that Liereyy is going for 4 villagers on the wood. He's using a backwood. This map is really good for Liereyy, in my opinion, because it's easy to wall. He can just make a few palisades up front here, and all his resources are safe because they are back resources. So Mr. Yo cannot just come here and put a tower on his gold. It's not possible. This map is really good for Liereyy. He also has a big wood on the back. He might probably use this as second wood. His map is really good to wall, so it's an okay map. Oh, but he lost his scout. Guys, he just lost his scout with 6 minutes. This is a huge disadvantage because he lost information. If Mr. Yo tries to come for a forward or for men-at-arms, for a drush, for anything, for a tower push, he won't be able to see. This build order of Liereyy might me think that he is probably going for drush or scouts. I don't know. Probably a drush. I can see that he has a lot of villagers on the ship. This only might mean one thing. He didn't eat his second boar. He probably had his boar stolen by Mr. Yo, which we can confirm by looking at Mr. Yo Scout's HP. And just not to forget about Mr. Yo, he has also a great map. He has a backwood, a back gold. I wouldn't say it's a great map because this gold is ugly. Huh? He cannot put a TC on this gold, so he will probably have to rely on walling to defend it. But his map is also okay to wall. I can see he just completing a big palisade here, and his front is almost walled, so the backwood also helps him to defend. Liereyy is also already did the loom. He's going for his 21 villager, a second lumber camp. I'm not sure. This can go anyway right now. He can go for archers. He can go for a drush, a late drush, for men at arms. Let's see what he's going. And Mr. Yo is already going for either drush or men at arms. Probably men at arms because with 8 minutes he can be already on his way to feudal age. Let's check. Okay, Mr. Yo is actually doing a lot of farms here on his town, so he's using this to boost his economy, and he's just going for a regular drush. Interesting, huh? And Liereyy is going up. He's now making a lot of palisades here. He has 2 lumber camps, and guys, I honestly don't know what his plan is. At this point, with this economy, and he's not getting gold, I would guess that he's going for wall and skirmishers. I honestly think that he's going for skirmishers. Let's see. He walled himself here. He has a safe wood and oh, yeah, I guessed this one right, huh? He's going for 2 archery ranges with 23 villagers. Guys, this is really similar to the build order that I did for the top 23 archers. And oh, look at this. Ah, that's ugly, huh? Yo just found his villagers building the archery range, man. Losing the scout really costs a lot, huh? Now Mr. Liereyy is going to be in disadvantage because he's having to pick fights here with Yo in order to try to make his archery range. He might even lose a villager. Oh, he lost a villager, but he was able to kill 2 militias, almost 3, and almost the scout, so now he's gonna be able to complete his archery range. So basically guys, Yo bought himself a bit more time with his rush. He's going now really late to the feudal age, eh? We can see that he's reaching feudal age with 13 minutes and he has 8 farms. This can only mean one thing in my opinion, he's going for a fast castle. And Liereyy, guys, is going for skirmishers. So we might have to see a fast castle against skirmishers. Let's see how it goes. Also blacksmith here on the back for Liereyy. Mr. Yo now making 2 archery ranges here. Oh, maybe he's not going for a fast castle? Really? Well, so maybe, I don't know why he just this late up. Also making skirmishers. Let me check something. Let me check Mr. Yo economy. Well guys, it seems to me that he had the economy to go for the fast castle. It was probably his intention, but seeing his map and seeing the advantage that Liereyy could have, he just postponed his castle age a bit to make skirmishers and counter Liereyy. He successfully countered the first army of Liereyy using a few villagers to wall the army here. Interesting. He has a tower on his goal to defend himself also, so it's also protected. But I don't know. Liereyy is messing skirmishers. He already has a lot of farms, guys. Let's take a look on Lierey's economy. It's 17 minutes. He's going for skirmishers and he already has 15 farms, guys. That's a huge economy. Oh, doing safer walls here on his wood. Interesting as well. And he's coming to attack. Mr. Yo walled the front of his base with a few houses. He's now making the padded archer armor for his skirmishers. Where's Mr. Yo army? Oh, his army is here. Oh, he's trying to get Liereyy from the back, eh? Great use of skirmishers. Liereyy trying to micro his way out. He also has an archer, but Mr. Yo could defend himself using the hill, huh? Interesting. Right now, guys, Liereyy just switched into scouts. Seeing that Mr. Yo has much more skirmishers, he decided to add a stable and do a few scouts. Another interesting idea. Mr. Yo is making a market. I believe, guys, that Mr. Yo is about to go up. Oh, he has a lot of gold, but with this market he can buy food and go up. That's probably what we are gonna see here. Yeah, exactly. He bought 200 food. Liereyy is now killing the skirmishers using his first scouts, and Mr. Yo is switching into archers. Liereyy also going Castle Age, but guys, Mr. Yo has the army advantage on numbers, it seems. Liereyy now adding more skirmishers, so he might be able to counter the archers and skirmishers from Mr. Yo. Let's see. Whoa, those guys almost kissed each other here. Liereyy went back. Mr. Yo is already on Castle. Liereyy trying to wall here. He went for a second stable. Lost a villager. Guys, Mr. Yo is surely gonna enter here and... I'm not sure what to think about this game here. Let's first see what Mr. Yo has. Mr. Yo, guys, is fully walled on the right side with houses and even a piece of stone wall. On the left side he's open, but he has a TC. He has a university, maybe for the ballistics. He has a huge food bank. I don't know if I like this. And he has elite skirmishers and crossbows as his main army. And he's also going for the leather armor archer. Leather archer armor. I mixed it up. And Liereyy, he has a few scouts. He has a big pack of elite skirmishers, and he's going for knights, guys. So knights and skirmishers for Liereyy, doing a second TC here. Oh, wow. Let's see. And he's trying to trap Yo's army. He might be able to. Oh, that's a bad place for Yo to be, Now the knights are coming to the fight. Liereyy micromanaging his elite skirmishers to kill crossbows. Knights killing the skirmishers, so easy fight for Liereyy. Knights are really strong, Also, guys, Liereyy has this outpost here on the right side. He's going for a market. 2 TCs for Liereyy. 30 TC only now for Mr. Yo, but villager advantage already for Mr. Yo. Maybe Liereyy lost a few villagers or had to sacrifice some villager time here. Liereyy trying to attack with his knights and skirmishers. Mr. Yo just messing crossbows. I don't know if I like these crossbows because there are a lot of elite skirmishers as well. Okay, now Liereyy doing an offensive job here with skirmishers and knights, but Mr. Yo has really big numbers here and he's going for even more archery ranges here. Stone mining for Mr. Yo, trying to micro his crossbows against Lierey's skirmishers. Husbandry now for Liereyy, handcart for Mr. Yo, so we have two different approaches here. We can see that Mr. Yo is improving his defenses and his economy, and Liereyy is going full all attack. I think that the mistake here is that Mr. Yo is trusting so much in these crossbows, guys. He should probably have walled a bit sooner, or maybe made the onager much before. Liereyy is really putting Mr. Yo on the TC here, man. That's a good offensive position for Liereyy. Both of his units can counter archers. The archers are only alive because of the... Oh, I would say that the archers were just alive because they were massed, but now Mr. Yo with a mangonel also doing a great job. Really interesting. We can see now Liereyy, guys, with only 2 TCs, sacrificing a bit of his economy in order to put more pressure. And Mr. Yo with 3 TCs, booming a lot here. Now also making a castle, a defensive castle. Whoa, that's a good position for a defensive castle. It will defend all this area here with this wood, this stone. But Mr. Yo trading mangonels, and after doing his castle, he's going up, guys. Great defensive play, huh? Liereyy attacking a few houses here on the other side. Mr. Yo doing his best to defend, using his crossbows, soon to be arbalests, huh? Liereyy now with 3 TCs, going Imperial as well. Second castle for Mr. Yo, guys, with 2 castles and a lot of arbalests. This will be a hard task for Liereyy to do damage here. Trading mangonels for good for Mr. Yo. And now the arbalests are going there to fight Liereyy. Mr. Yo going with a huge pack of arbalests to the front. Liereyy has big numbers, you know? Be careful, Mr. Yo. Your army is stronger, but Liereyy has the numbers. All upgrades for economy and archers for Mr. Yo. Liereyy going for the cavaliers, eh? And with this amount of knights, man, this might really be a good idea. Mr. Yo trying to snipe a few villagers. Interesting. And Mr. Yo taking the hill, but now we have +4 cavaliers from the Malians, killing all the arbalests from Mr. Yo. Problem is, guys, that while Liereyy was defending himself, Mr. Yo just made another castle here on the front, and he is starting to make halberdiers. I can see a lot of elite skirmishers here from Mr. Yo and halberdiers as well, so strong game, huh? Liereyy in trouble now. His opponent has a protected, strong economy, and he's exposed. Oh! Yo was trying to get the heal, but Liereyy come just in time with his army that right now is a bit more numerous. Fourth castle for Mr. Yo, come on, man. Oh, someone please stop his stone. Cavaliers trying to raid. Mr. Yo defending with his halberdiers. Great defense. Trebuchets now coming to kill Yo, whatever Liereyy has. Castle for Liereyy. Liereyy trying to keep with the cavaliers and the elite skirmishers. Let's also remember, guys, that Malians do not have bracer for the elite skirmishers, huh? Halberdiers doing their job here. Mr. Yo controlling a lot of the map. Now starting to get Lierey's third gold. That's really not good for Liereyy, guys. Mr. Yo has the heal. He's now also making elite samurais. Interesting. So halberdiers, arbalests, elite samurai, and Liereyy asks for the GG. Guys, really good defense for Mr. Yo, huh? A lot of details. Good use of castles to defend. Good use of castles to attack. Lierey's gold were really bad because after Mr. Yo won the first fights, Liereyy couldn't have access to his second and third gold. They were both front and under the castle fire of Mr. Yo. Really bad. Okay, that was the second game. Great defense for Mr. Yo. Abusing after having a good start on Dark Age by stealing a boar. I find this game interesting. And technology-wise, Mr. Yo went Imperial with 39 minutes. Does not seem a big difference because Liereyy went with 41 minutes, but this small gap in the age up made you lure all the army from Liereyy to kill Arbalests while he could just go and get map control. Well played for Mr. Yo. Let's go outside a bit. Uh, Interesting. Guess Joe was too scared because he didn't full wall. Well, man, how could he not be scared, eh? With that number of knights and skirmishers? I think it was a suicide to go off home. When he did, with the arbalests, he could do a good job, but just until Liereyy had upgraded his cavalier. I think that the great thing here is that Mr. Yo knew that Liereyy was doing sacrifices in his economy to be able to keep doing knights and skirmishers, and he abuses of that by oh, that he didn't fast castle. Oh, that's right. Yeah, I can agree. I think that if he could properly wall himself, he would probably go for the fast castle there. It was his intention, but he couldn't buy enough time, so he made a safe decision to cancel his fast castle and instead go for skirmishers. It was a good decision at the time. Guys, I will make a really fast break before we go for the third game, okay? So be right back. Okay, I'm just back. We are going for the third game, guys. In the first two games, Mr. Yo was able to kill Liereyy, using the Persians against the Mongols, and then the Japanese killing the Malians. Let's see how this game goes now on third game. Okay, third game starting, and let's go quick for the civilizations. Liereyy is playing as the Magyars. The Magyars does not have any economic bonus that worth mentioning. Actually, they have no economic bonus, but they have a really strong army bonus because they have the free forging and free attack for infantry and cavalry in every age, and they do not need a blacksmith. So by the time a Magyar player goes feudal, their scout already has a +1 attack. If they go for men at arms, those men at arms have +1 attack. And in Castle Age, this is even better, huh? Do you imagine how strong are the knights with +2 attack from the beginning? Yeah, really strong civilization. So we have the Magyars here for Liereyy. Analyzing his map, he has backwood. We can also see another backwood here. There's a front one that he could still use. His gold here is on the front. The other one as well. Well, that's not a great map for walling, but he could just block this passage and make buildings in front of the gold. The backwood is also good to defend from rushes, so I like this map for Mr. Liereyy. And now let's take a look on Mr. Yo. Mr. Yo is playing as the Celts. The Celts, worth mentioning bonus is that their woodcutters are faster, so he will enjoy a strong economy for wood in all the game, which is really good. For example, to go for skirmishers, to get more wood for booming. It's really a strong bonus for economy. The Celts are an infantry and siege civilization, so they can have mangonels that fire a bit faster. They have fast speed infantry, so Mr. Yo men at arms are faster if he wants to go for men at arms. There are some interesting bonus. Talking about horses, the Celts have knights but no bloodline, so cannot be so useful. I would probably expect a crossbowman approach by Mr. Yo and a cavalry based approach by Liereyy. Not to mention, guys, that both of those civilizations are really strong on Imperial Age, with different kind of units. The Magyars are strong with the Magyar Russars and the Half-Cav Archers with recurve bow, an upgrade that gives them an advantage, and the Celts are strong because of their infantry and their really tanky siege units. Right now, guys, Liereyy is going for the Pop 22 Scouts, using what his civilization has of best, the Scouts. So no big deal. And Mr. Yo, guys, here rushing, is trying to take down a few villagers from Liereyy, but he's micromanaging really good, okay? He might even be able to take Mr. Yo's scout and militia before he kills the villager. Not sure if this villager will survive because he was stuck in another. That was a great fight. Liereyy killed the scout. Another militia has only 1 HP. And he lost nothing. Just like 10 seconds of wood gathering. That can be worth. Okay, now he is on the feudal age. He's already making a stable. And his plan here, guys, is initially to go for scouts. Let's go how the game goes after this. And Mr. Yo, interesting, huh? Let me put on his POV. Mr. Yo is not going feudal. Oh, he is going feudal right now. And he has the militia here. He's going for men-at-arms and probably towers. Oh, now he's going for stone. So, men-at-arms and towers for Mr. Yo. He already has 6 and 7 militia, guys. 7 men-at-arms, well, that's not something easy to fight. Especially when those men-at-arms are Celt ones. Mr. Yo now protecting his economy by doing palisades on his resources. He palisaded his gold, palisaded his wood, palisaded his stone gatherers, and he's trying to push Liereyy, making now the first tower. Let's see how it goes, huh? Lots of men-at-arms here, taking down villagers. Liereyy on the other side, trying to take down a few with the scouts as well. Second tower incoming for Mr. Yo. This tower will be really good because he will be able to take down Lierey's forage mill and a few farms. Also, this will buy a lot of time. Liereyy building a defensive tower here. His tower will probably be ready first, and that's a safe tower because there's a TC protecting all those villagers. And right now we have 6 infantry units for Mr. Yo and 7 scouts for Liereyy, 7 Magyar scouts. Guys, this fight looks good for Liereyy, huh? Really good. And he's killing the villagers. He killed 1 villager, he might be able to kill another one. No, Mr. Yo saved the villagers, but he's going to lose the tower. 8 scouts now. Liereyy took the fight and won the fight. Mr. Yo now lost his push, man. This has been a really good strategy for Mr. Yo, but you cannot underestimate Magyar scouts, eh? They are strong. Mr. Yo now trying to send a few spearmen to help the villagers, but I think it's too late. He lost the push already. Oh, maybe not, huh? He still has the villagers here. Liereyy is starting to do skirmishers. That's one of Lierey's favorite build orders, scouts into skirmishers. I have seen him using this in many tournaments. That's a strong build order. I have a video talking about this in my channel and it's really interesting build order. Mr. Yo now trying to go for a second tower on Lierey's wood. Liereyy fighting back with non-upgraded skirmishers and villagers. Let's see. Okay, Liereyy pushing the tower. Mr. Yo now building a second tower here. That will protect the first one, huh? Not sure if it enough time. Oh, great one. Right now, guys, Mr. Yo with a huge economy is going to castle, but well, he's in a troublesome position, huh? Liereyy has a big army of skirmishers and a big army of scouts here. I say big because 5 scouts can wipe all those villagers down, so it's enough scouts to do the damage. But Mr. Yo is going up and he might try to switch into knights, huh? Let's see. Making a tower on his wood, a second tower on his gold. Okay, he was able to keep his gold safe for some time. Made a blacksmith. He's really late to up, huh? But he's now on castle age. Making knights. Liereyy trying to take more villagers down with his scouts. Making an aggressive tower here, huh? And adding a few spearmen. Right now, Mr. Yo is taking gold on Lierey's base and on his back. Going for Sigma Workshop. Once again, Mr. Yo doing a good job with his cavalry, raiding a lot of units from Liereyy. And Liereyy, guys, only now going for Castle Age, adding another stable, so he probably wants to go for Knight as well. And despite not having the bloodlines, the Celt Knights are doing a good job here raiding. Battering run for Mr. Yo to kill this tower, Interesting. Tower falling down to the battering run. Knights from Liereyy coming, but well, they were too late. They were able to kill the battering ram, but not to save the tower. Mr. Yo trying to go for a second TC, making now a monastery. He probably wants monks to defend himself. Trying to raid Liereyy. Let me see what the villager count is. I have the impression that Liereyy has a better one, but no, I was wrong. Villager count is almost the same and Mr. Yo has a small advantage here. Right now, Liereyy going on a full aggressive mode. We can see that he only has one town center, so he's investing 100% into army. He's making cavalry archers and making knights. Now killing a tower. Mr. Yo trying to defend himself, adding now a lot of archery ranges. Mr. Yo now wants to add crossbows. Liereyy attacking with +2 knights and +2 cavalry archers, man. I don't know how Mr. Yo is going to defend from this using only crossbows, onagers and monks. Does not seem a good option. A few monks down, mangonel down. The knights are really doing a lot of damage. Mr. Yo now losing, oh my god, Mr. Yo losing a lot of villagers. Liereyy coming non-stop here with all his army. He was not able to afford a second TC. Interesting as well. So 3 TCs for Mr. Yo. Liereyy on his way to attack. Mr. Yo trying his best to defend. Oh, but now a castle in a good position. With this castle, oh, losing more villagers. Oh boy, I thought that things would be a bit better for Mr. Yo, but Liereyy is now also bringing mangonels. Let's talk a bit about economy. Liereyy has only 2 TCs, but all of his villagers are working, which is a bit better than Yo's. And the villager advantage now is in favor of Liereyy, guys. Mangonel shots here from Liereyy. Mr. Yo trying to make a castle here. Oh, he lost the Mangonel. Both guys lost the Mangonel, and the castle will go up. Well, the castle is up, but Liereyy is killing the TC of Mr. Yo. I honestly do not see a way for Mr. Yo to win this, man. The Magyars are really strong on the castle age. Mr. Yo trying to go for pikeman. A lot of crossbows here defending. Now Liereyy has the TC advantage, huh? Big villager advantage for Liereyy. At least 30 villagers making a castle on a big hill. Using cav archers and knights. Fully upgraded both knights and cav archers. And Mr. Yo going to the sides with an army of pikemen and crossbowmen. Trying to save his towers here. Killing a few villagers. Liereyy adding now more archery ranges. Mr. Yo coming for a second castle, but Liereyy is already on the way up. Oh, no second castle. It was a siege workshop. Now, yes, there's a second castle. And that's an interesting choice of units. Mr. Yo is using a few crossbows, pikemen, and bold raiders. As for Liereyy, he's focusing a bit more on the cavalry archers. Imperial Age for Liereyy, castle for Mr. Yo. Liereyy now with +3 Magyar cavalry archers, doing a great job. Yo will probably lose this push because he's not up and his economy was severely hurted by Liereyy. Two trebuchets here on this big hill for Liereyy, taking down Yo castle. Massing cavalry archers. Mr. Yo trying to raid using the bold raiders, but being really countered by the cavalry archers. Oh boy. That's interesting, huh? Mr. Yo is surrounded, he's going Imperial Age, but Liereyy is killing everything with trebuchets, cavalry archers, now with recurve bow, and it's the GG. I think that the mistake here is that Liereyy all the game had a big armies walking around Mr. Yo base, and Mr. Yo could only counter a bit with his knights and later trying to go for crossbowmen. Liereyy really exploited well the advantages of his civilization in this matchup. Also did a good defensive move by putting a defensive tower here and using the scouts under the tower fire. It also favored Liereyy because his TC could protect his tower that was not possible for Yo to get, so interesting game. Going for the achievements, and technology wise no surprises here. I honestly think that this is a bit of a later time for men-at-arms and towers, because the Drush couldn't buy that much time. Maybe if Mr. Yo went straight for men-at-arms and towers instead of the Drush first, he could have got Liereyy with less scouts to defend himself, and maybe he could be more successful in his initial rush. But that was a good show off by Liereyy, making the score a bit less in favor of Mr. Yo. Whew, interesting. Man, I'm really tired today. I honestly thinking about going to sleep. Let me see this fourth game. Britons for Liereyy and Chinese for Mr. Yo. Let me see. The Britons have a good bonus getting the ship, so Their Dark Age is really good.
Ready.
They can go for faster ups if they want. And they also have a good bonus on the Castle Age by having ship ETCs, which is a lot helpful for booming. And they have the best crossbows of the game in terms of range because they have an extra range on Castle and a second extra range on Imperial, so their archers can fire really long distance. Really interesting. Let's see how it goes. Liereyy with the Britons, 4 villagers on the wood, he can either go for a drush, archer ranges, anything, and Mr. Yo has the Chinese. The Chinese are an interesting civ. They have this different start that can make their echo stronger in the late run, but it's not possible for a Chinese player to go, for example, pop 20 scouts or anything like this. So this civilization struggles a bit against rushes. Let's see how it goes. In this civ matchup, I would, depending on the map, I would go for either of the civilizations, but my favorite would always be the Britons. So Liereyy now going for a barracks really soon, so it's a rush for Liereyy. No, it's not. He made the Lewins up in pop 22 and going for man at arms? No, he gave up on man at arms. Guys, this is probably going to be an archer and skirmisher game. A 2-range approach by Liereyy, let's see. Here are the 2 ranges from Liereyy. Mr. Yo going also for the 2 ranges. He made the first one, making the second one. Another bonus from the Britons. They can make faster archers and skirmishers because their archery rangers are faster. Guys, I have the feeling that this game will be quick. The Britons have all the weapons here to do a good job. Mr. Yo, but Mr. Yo is using his bonus, the Chinese farm bonus, doing a lot of farms. He can have a good income of economy, while Liereyy has only 3 farms, so let's see. Bigger army for Liereyy because of the Briton bonus. He also has the scout. Mr. Yo coming here with 4 skirmishers. Those 4 skirmishers won't do the job. Oh, and Liereyy here trying to snipe some villagers. Snipe one, make other villagers run. Trying to pick fights with Mr. Yo, using an army of skirmishers and archers, mostly skirmishers. Full skirmishers for Mr. Yo. Second army of Liereyy coming on the right side. Yo is doing a good job defending himself, but his economy does not look good. The villager as an advantage is of 4 villagers for Liereyy. He's attacking on both sides, guys. Honestly, I can see a huge advantage for Liereyy right now. I won't call the GG, but the advantage is real here. Mr. Yo is starting to make scouts. This can be good to counter, but Liereyy already has like 7 archers, so I do not think those scouts stand a chance. This is even better for Liereyy actually, look at this. The scouts do not have a chance. Liereyy now adding a stable to make scouts. His scouts otherwise have a bigger advantage because your army is mostly based on skirmishers, so no advantage for him. Liereyy expecting Yo. Yo coming here with skirmishers. Oh, good micro from Yo, killing the scouts from Liereyy. But now Liereyy has a good position and is about to get on Castle. 3rd archery range for Liereyy. Ah, boy. Yo is now almost walled using his buildings. He did a great job getting the attacks from Liereyy off, but I don't know how it will go. Yo is upgrading his horses and Liereyy has a big pack of crossbowmen and skirmishers, so I don't know. It seems to me that Mr. Yo is going for little skirmishers and knights, huh? Sig workshop for Liereyy. He's also researching the ballistics. Lead skirmishers from Mr. Yo coming here. He's also hiding a few knights on the stables. Two TCs for Liereyy. On 2 TCs also for Mr. Yo. Mangonel coming. Big army. Oh, Mr. Yo sacrificing a few knights to get rid of the Mangonel, but there's another Mangonel here. Sig workshop now for Mr. Yo. A good attack for Liereyy. 3 TCs for Liereyy, guys. 3 TCs. He has a huge advantage. He's doing more siege. He has a huge army. For now, I can only see advantage for Liereyy. Mr. Yo with 20 less villagers, only 2 TCs, running with a few villagers here to get gold. Liereyy killing a lot of buildings from Mr. Yo. Oh, a few knights here trying to snipe the mangoes, but... Well, they did. Mr. Yo killed all the mangoes, but now he has no army to fight back, huh? And Liereyy is on his way to Imperial Age to go probably for Arbalests. Man, if there's no hope against the crossbows, just wait until you see the Arbalests. But Mr. Yo did not give up, huh? He's still fighting, he's raiding a lot of Liereyy economy, attacking with skirmishers, attacking with Mangonel. Knights going on 2 different ways. The villager advantage is decreasing. Yo is doing a great job, guys. A castle here on strategical position for Liereyy, protecting all his left side. And now Arbalests. Great, huh? Arbalests here, killing knights like they were nothing. Those Arbalests, guys, they already have 10 range, so they can outrange Mangonel, they can outrange skirmishers. Look at this. I do not see a way for Mr. Yo to win this. Maybe if he tried Cavaliers, but not sure if there's time for this. He's trying to raid Liereyy, but not sure if this will work because Liereyy is already Imperial. Now doing the Shine Barding armor, killing more and more villagers. Mr. Yo massing a lot of knights. He probably wants to go for the Cavaliers later. Big arm of knights from Mr. Yo. And also micro by Liereyy. Man, look at this micro, huh? And he killed the army from Yo. And it's GG. It's really fight to fight the Britons, especially in maps where they are close. Great win for Mr. Yo. Guys, I do not have too much to tell here. The Civ advantage was really good for Liereyy because the Chinese struggle a bit on the beginning, and with this map the advantage was clear. Some might say, oh, but at some point Mr. Yo had really similar score. He had almost the same number of villagers, but man, what could he do against Arbalests on Castle Age? There was no counter to that, because the range is really big. It really doubles the damage that they can do in a written run technique. Really big range. So right now, 2 wins for each player. So we have a settled match here, man. After game 5, one of those players will be 1 game away from winning the series, huh? Let me make another break before we start casting the 5th game. So 2 for Liereyy, 2 for Mr. Yo, and I will be back in a few minutes. Okay, I'm back, and let's go for the fifth game. Guys, the fifth game here shows us Liereyy using the Byzantines, and guys, I really like the Civ choice because I have seen Liereyy using the Byzantines in this in the COTD tournament, and two times. He used it against Hart. Hart had the Spanish, and Liereyy killed him, no problem. He used it against Viper, and Viper had the Berbers, one of the strongest civilizations, and the Berbers fell to the Byzantines as well. And in the first show match against Mr. Yo, Liereyy also killed using the Byzantines. He killed Yo that was playing with the Persians. Guess we could even make a pack of games from Liereyy. I'm thinking about this to show how this build order works and what he can do. It's a build order for the ones who like to use a lot of army. He uses the spearman and the pikeman as his leverage. And Mr. Yo is playing as the Vikings. Let's see about the map. There's a wood that is really bad for Liereyy here on the left, but he has a really huge one on the front and even on to the sides. So to the castle edge, so maybe later he can use these woods. It's a review wood map, and it's surely much better than Yo's wood. He has a small one here that can be easily target on feudal age, and this other one that can also be target as well. Maybe in castle things might be better because of this big one, but from the beginning, the advantage totally lies with Liereyy. That's a great map for Byzantines. I can see Liereyy walling his map with no trouble here. And guys, he is going for a pop 23 up. His berries are in a bad position, so he's not being extensively using them. And he's already reaching the feudal age. He went. Let's see how it goes. I'm not sure about how the food income will work here for Liereyy, but I believe that he will probably go for 2 archery ranges, huh? Exactly. He walled the left side with just a few palisades. Now he walled the front with other few palisades and is making skirmishers and spearmen. Mr. Yo here trying to attack his back with militias. That was a rush. And Mr. Yo, guys, is also adding 2 archery ranges, so we are going to watch a skirmisher war on feudal age. Let's see how Liereyy defends from the militia. Yeah, he just drove them away with a few skirmishers, huh? Liereyy was spamming farms here to support his economy, now making a blacksmith up front. I can also see that there's a blacksmith for Mr. Yo. Mr. Yo is walling, he's finishing to wall the left side of his map. The right side is still open, yeah? And that's where Liereyy is going. Liereyy defending from the militia, trying to lure Mr. Yo into the fight. Mr. Yo has huge numbers of skirmishers, so has Liereyy. Big skirmisher fight coming. Both players have a lot of farms. A few more villagers for Mr. Yo, so this leads me to believe that probably it's the wheelbarrow that the Viking already has. They are just fighting skirmishers. It's really hard for players at that level to just overcome each other on feudal with skirmishers, man. Really hard. Game will usually go for castle, but Liereyy has cheaper skirmishers and is doing a great job here. Killing a few villagers. I think the big throwback for Mr. Yo here is that his wood is really bad. So if he loses a battle, he will stop getting wood. He made a tower on Liereyy, but this tower is not so effective. Liereyy adding a stable. Huge pack of skirmishers. Mr. Yo going for 2 stables and knights, guys. Mr. Yo is going for knights. So is Liereyy, now switching to camels. Oh, now elite skirmishers and knights for Mr. Yo. Bodkin Arrow for Liereyy, but no Elite Skirmisher yet. Mr. Yo now getting both of Lierey's woods with towers. That was a good move. There's a fight. Ooh, and that was a bad fight for Liereyy. But he has camels coming to help. Maybe his camels can fight off this. Yeah, he's killing the knights. He's now killing the skirmishers. That's a bad fight for Mr. Yo. Or not. No, it's not. It was actually a good one. Guys, I'm so bad analyzing fights. I'm good analyzing the game, but some fights I really think that one player is with the advantage and the other one wins. Anyway. Still, I think that the biggest move here by Mr. Yo was adding towers on the back of Liereyy, taking away these woods from him, but he has great woods on the back as well. Mr. Yo now going for a second TC here on the back. Liereyy already has 2 TCs, so I see an economic advantage for Mr. Liereyy. Arm-wise, both players have similar army composition, a big pack of elite skirmishers supported by camels and knights. Liereyy on the attack. Now killing a palisade. Just a sec, guys. And I can see here Liereyy attacking really aggressive with his skirmishers and camels, but that was not the best spot because Mr. Yo had 2 monks and he was already switching into the crossbow. So 3 TCs now for Mr. Yo. Only 2 TCs for Liereyy. Okay, let's go. I'm not commenting what happened here. I'm not going to comment at all. Just what I have to comment is that there's a big battle here between Liereyy and Mr. Yo.
No siege.
Between Liereyy and Mr. Yo. Interesting. Okay, so right now both players massing army. Liereyy using elite skirmishers and camels still with this combo. Mr. Yo trying to defend himself with crossbows. Now adding a sick workshop. Knights killing the skirmishers, huh? Really interesting. That's really a good fight for Liereyy. Now he has an arm advantage. His skirmishers are uphill, but Mr. Yo is trying to come back with knights. Skirmishers now fighting. Guys, this is a really aggressive game for Liereyy. He's pumping army. He's pumping skirmishers and camels all game long. With only 2 TCs. Yo has 3 TCs, but he's being severely damaged here, man. He doesn't have the villager advantage. He's losing villagers all the time to those skirmishers. Liereyy now adding a few light cabs as well. Going imp. Mr. Yo made a castle, but this castle is not proving to be worth. Oh boy. A market for Mr. Yo. Interesting, huh? A huge pack of skirmishers here for Liereyy that can totally kill anything. Oh boy, look at this. He's killing mangonels. He's now adding a Sig workshop, making more stables. Mr. Yo trying to defend himself, making more Sig workshops. Guys, that's a great pressure from Liereyy. I don't know how Mr. Yo can stand so much pressure. Mr. Yo is still on Castle Age, about to reach Imperial, but all the pressure going on here. Castle incoming for Liereyy as well. Plate Barding armor, so the horses from Mr. Liereyy are going to be also so strong as well with this extra defense. And that's the counter of Mr. Yo, eh? Onagers. Those onagers with one shot can clean all these skirmishers. This game is getting more and more interesting, but the map control right now lies within Liereyy, guys. He has a good map control. He's making a second castle that will kill an extra TC from Mr. Yo and get the control of these golds. Oh my god. Look at this. This is really, really interesting. Right now I can see a lot of skirmishers here from Liereyy. He's dominating. Mr. Yo is trying to counter him, but Liereyy is already popped and is attacking like 3 or 4 different places. Mr. Yo trying to get more map by expanding here on the right side, but that's really hard fight. Light cabs aiming for the onagers. The skirmishers just spamming and keep shooting the crossbowmen. Really attention to the details by Liereyy on his micro. He was aiming each skirmisher on the crossbows. He was not just throwing spears, man. He was aiming for the crossbows. Liereyy now pushing a castle from Mr. Yo using a trebuchet. Mr. Yo trying to make a full siege. Russar upgrade for Liereyy. And the Russars are also killing the ram, man. And oh my god. I don't know how Yo is surviving so much, man. Everywhere I see, I can see Liereyy killing something from him. Liereyy is dominating the hills of the map with Byzantine castles. I already can see 3 Byzantine castles on big hills. A big pack of Russars from Liereyy. Those are good Russars because they have the defense, but they do not have so much HP. Huh? The Byzantines do not have the bloodlines. So Mr. Yo was able to kill all the Russars with these arbalests. Honestly, I have the feeling that Liereyy should have added even Cavaliers or maybe Sig runs to finish the game quick, but he's just abusing his advantage here. And Yo finally gave up. Man, but that was not how Mr. Yo come back this, man. So much map control for Liereyy, so much aggression, so much advantage. All the game, the Byzantines pumping army. Really great, really great. Let's leave this game. This was interesting, eh? Let's make a small break again. You think Viking economy compensate the Byzantines' cheaper skirmisher in feudal? Well, it can. It surely can, because by the time that Liereyy has to stop to make the well barrel, the Vikings will have an automatic villager advantage. But man, Liereyy microning is really, really strong. Where's T19? I was talking about T19 about something that I'm not telling you guys right now, but I might have a few show match on this weekend as well. Where's this? Where's T90? Guys, I'm going now for another game. Right now, the score is 3 for Liereyy and 2 for Mr. Yo. So, in the sixth game, let's see what happens. And oh, finally some non-save for everyone. And the Hunts. I, guys, I'm not going to say about not anything about the Huns. Just that they dominated the AUC for many years and still a great civilization on Arabia. No houses, strong horses, ship cavalry archers, offensive, aggressive, strong civilization, and also have Tarkans to boost their late game. Great raiding unit. Liereyy starting with 3 villagers on the wood, which indicates that he plans to go for scouts. He could successfully kill Yo scout with his TC, which is a great advantage for him, and also it seems to me that he was able to steal a boar from Mr. Yo. So right now, guys, Mr. Yo is in a big disadvantage because he lost a boar, he lost his scout. Liereyy is coming forward with a villager here, probably to make his second lumber camp, and I think that Liereyy is going for Pop 21. Is he? Yeah, he is. So Pop 21 scouts for Liereyy. I see a barracks for Mr. Yo. He's compensating the lack of the boar by getting a few deers. Let's see what happens here. A palisade wall here by Mr. Yo. Mining camp. This seems like he's going for men-at-arms and later into archers. But guys, what can save Mr. Yo here is his map. Liereyy is doing some effort to wall the left side of his map, but if you look at his map, it's not so good to wall. There are no narrow spaces, so crossbows here on any side can be a big danger to Liereyy. And he won't be able to do so much damage to Yo at first sight because on the top, Yo is walled. He has a lot of options of wood, and those woods are not thick like the ones of the Vikings games. They are big woods, so it's not possible, for example, for Liereyy to just put a few skirmishers here and stop Yo's wood. This wood is really huge, so it's good. His gold is walled. His berries are half walled. You just need to complete a few palisades to be fully walled, so these scouts might not work as Liereyy is expecting, and he will soon have to fight against men-at-arms. Let's see. Okay, men-at-arms picking fight with the scouts. 2 scouts down for Liereyy, but the men-at-arms stood no chance, so I see a big arm advantage here, but Mr. Yo is doing a second archery range, and oh, he's not walling here. Oh, fuck this, man. I'm forgetting about the overlay. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I totally forgot about the overlay. Guys, I'm really tired. I won't play more today. I will just finish those series. I forgot the overlay. Guys, what happens here is that Liereyy had a big advantage in the beginning with stealing Yo's boar and also killing Yo's scout with his TC. He's going for scouts. Yo tried to go for men-at-arms, which did absolutely nothing against the Hunt's scouts. Liereyy tried to wall parts of his map here. He's adding now an archery range. So Liereyy is probably going once again for the scouts and skirmishers strategy like he did in the Magyar's game. And Mr. Yo is fully walled with palisades. And Mr. Yo has a really, really sweet map, man. This is really sweet map. He's now adding more villagers to the gold, making a tower. So Mr. Yo is walled, Mr. Yo is making towers. That's a great map for him. So game is not over. The advantage in the beginning was good, but this map can't compensate for anything. Fletching now for Liereyy. Liereyy fully walled with palisades as well, so both players fully walled. Liereyy on the aggression, trying to kill an archery range. Oh, and this archery range is going down fast, eh? Mr. Yo trying to defend with archers, he has a huge pack of archers. And Liereyy is going Castaway first. Oh boy. Not good, eh, Yo? Yo trying to repair this archery range. Almost lost a few villagers and he's coming to fight. Guys, I missed this small detail, but Mr. Yo did a stable and 2 scouts just in order to kill the skirmishers, and it turned the fight into his favor. But let's see what he's going to do now, because Liereyy is already on Castaway and he's going for knights. So Hunt's going for knights, second TC coming for Liereyy here, and Mr. Yo only now going for Castaway. Well, with scouts almost could take down this archery range. I'm pretty sure that knights can do the job, huh? So, nice. That was so expected. Knights killing the archery range. Mr. Yo just sacrificing his archery ranges. He knows that he won't be able to defend, so he just made a stone wall on the back and is making new archery ranges here. Interesting, huh? But guys, Mr. Yo has this sneak army of crossbows here that can attack Liereyy's wood at any time. Let's see how it goes, huh? Liereyy trying to kill this barracks, Mr. Yo using the tower to defend himself, adding a monastery. Always a good option, eh, guys, if you are fighting against knights, to add a monastery. And the knights are doing a lot of damage. Mr. Yo now killing the first villagers from Liereyy, and he's going inside with his crossbows, maybe. He is. Oh, but there's a huge pack of knights, huh? Those knights are really, really numerous, but... oh! I still think this was a not so bad fight for Mr. Yo. He could take down a lot of knights. Mr. Yo now making 2 monasteries. 3 monasteries, guys! 3 monasteries. He's going full for monks. Mr. Yo is going all in. He has only 1 TC, crossbows and monasteries, also a few camels. He's going all in, and Liereyy is trying to defend himself with 2 TCs and maybe skirmishers. Yeah, he's doing elite skirmishers. I don't know how I feel about this, because the elite skirmishers can kill it all. Second TC now for Mr. Yo. University, another archery range, so he's going for more skirmishers. Ooh. Hard one, huh? But Liereyy lost, man. The monks really did the trick, huh? Camels now for Mr. Yo. Camels and more camels. He's bringing a... he's making a castle here, man. What a really, really amazing game. Mr. Yo is abusing of his map. Since his map was all walled, he's doing a 2 TC strategy, using 3 monasteries, camels, trying to make a castle drop. This game looks more like an arena than an Arabia, to be honest. Whoa, monks converting the knights. Liereyy might lose all those knights here. Or maybe not. Well, he just lost 1. He will probably finish the castle, or no. Yeah, he finished it, but it was not so easy to finish this castle, eh? Still, Liereyy could save his villagers, he only lost 2. Mr. Yo trying to attack, Liereyy massing army, monks converting all the knights, the castle now, eh? Being really helpful here. Uh-oh. More villagers coming here. Maybe a second castle? Good chance, huh? That's it. Second castle for Mr. Yo. This is really an unusual game. Mr. Yo trying to fight back with a mangonel. His monks are doing the trick. His converted knights are doing are being painful for Liereyy. Interesting game, man. This is really interesting game. How Ethiopians can be a pain in the ass of the Huns. Liereyy massing skirmishers, go Imperial. Now things might change, huh? Because Mr. Yo's economy is not the best. He only has 2 TCs. Making another castle. The fuck I'm seeing, guys? Oh, but there are too many monks. With those monks here, going knights is not an option. He's going for bracer and chemistry, so I can see elite skirmishers coming from Liereyy. Mr. Yo still with the advantage. Yeah, Mr. Yo now going Imperial. How, man? He's playing like Arena. Look at, I don't know if I'm watching Mr. Yo or Eddie here. It feels more like Eddie. And look at this. The castles are really doing the trick. Now a castle for Liereyy. He might try to make his first trebuchets. Making more TCs. Trying to expand here on the back. But his wood's about to run off. So he should relocate these villagers real quick. Oh, look at this. Interesting, huh? Mr. Yo still with 2 town centers. Try to make third here on the left, on the right side. Now, guys, making shuttle warriors. They are fast, high attack infantry, but I don't know if they can kill skirmishers because they have really low HP, and their armor is not the best. Huh? You're trying to defend himself with monks. Ooh, but doesn't think he was able to. Elite shuttle coming for Mr. Yo. Oh, here comes the elite shuttle. And plate mail armor. Oh, with elite shuttle. More HP, more attack. Maybe their speed is really what can do the job here, because Liereyy has no more gold. He just ate all his gold here. And that's it. Mr. Yo is raiding with the shuttle. He lost 2 castles, but he still has 2 and he can pump the shuttles. But the population is better for Liereyy. Mr. Yo now trying to boom. Oh boy. Liereyy coming back, using skirmishers and light caps, the same combo from the last game, huh? Man, honestly, this guy is really dangerous, eh? Every time using skirmishers and doing the trick with the skirmishers. Look at this, man. Liereyy expanded his economy to the right side. He's getting all the woods on the corner. He has access to the extra gold. He made a castle on this corner. He's expanding a lot, but Mr. Yo is massing more and more shuttle warriors. Maybe with the right numbers, Mr. Yo can win a decisive battle here, because his economy is still protected. Let's remember that he had a walled base and... Oh, and now he has a big number of shuttle. Maybe he tries to fight? Yes, he's coming to fight. The Brussars are dropping like flies and the shuttles are killing everything. Whoa, what an ugly battle for Yo, eh? Yo had no chance. Arson now for Yo. GG. Oh my god. The shuttle warriors really did the job, because with 5 defense from arrows, they can resist the skirmishers. And this attack is really strong. They can drop Russers like flies, man. I almost think that they have the same amount of attack against Russers than a halberdier would have. They're really strong. I believe that what Liereyy should have done here was to try to raid more the Yo's economy before he could do all these shuttles, and maybe switching into a few cav archers. The cav archers could do the job. They have more attack. Still, great win. So Three for Mr. Yo, three for Liereyy, and guys, we're going to watch the last game. Sausage Party. I want to thank you to remind me about the stream. And let's see the overlay. I mean, I love Bubbly wants to make an AOC question. Come on, man, just do the AOC question. And no stars for run to raid. Yeah, man. Liereyy attacking Cavalier with Lero Gold income, relics. He had a market as well, jail waypoint. Guys, I will just wait a bit for I love Bubbly's question. So I will make a break here, 2 minutes break, and then I will answer I love Bubbly question, and I will finish the casting. The last game, guys, just to spoil, is going to be Franks for Liereyy and Malay from Mr. Yo. So interesting fighting, huh? Franks against the Malay. Okay, I'm back. Wait, let me see. And I love Bubbly is saying, okay, I will drink water, then I will read your question. Okay, so from Castle Age, you need 2 buildings to go up or 1 castle. If you build a monastery and convert a sick workshop, does it count as a second building to go up? It should count, huh? In my opinion, it should count. Man, I'm not sure. I believe it can count. Hard question, eh? Why you guys keep doing hard questions like this, man? It probably. This was a really hard question. I was not expecting this one coming. Okay, back to the game. Franks for Liereyy against Malay from Mr. Yo. Guys, in these games I could state a clear thing. Mr. Yo is the one that likes to play with crossbows. In almost all the games, his civilizations and his strategies are driving him towards crossbowmen, with the exception of the first game where he used cavalry. And and Liereyy is always the one trying to go for the knights and skirmishers combo, so he likes to use more skirmishers and horses, so he likes to be aggressive and raiding, and Mr. Yo likes to use the crossbowmen to mass and to defend. So these two civilizations really summarize all that we saw in this series. One guy going for a civilization that has a food bonus, good for making skirmishers and scouts, and also with a strong cavalry, and the other going for a civilization that can overboom, that have a better economy overall, and that also has some bonus for crossbows. I don't I wouldn't say bonus for crossbows, but the Malay are really better for doing crossbows than the Franks, for example, because they have these extra views or the faster age up, which can add a lot. Also Arbalest on Imperial, so Liereyy tried to go for Drush. He's now switching into two ranges. Since he's switching into two ranges and has only one villager on the gold, he's coming for skirmishers. So skirmishers for Liereyy, and Mr. Yo here has a few militias. Good tower for Liereyy, denying this front wood from Mr. Yo. Mr. Yo now fully walled, so these skirmishers might be a bit harder to for Yo than for Liereyy than he's thinking. Defensive tower for Liereyy for Mr. Yo. Oh my god, I'm mixing all the names, man. I'm really tired. Fuck this, huh? Let me see. Okay. Tower incoming for Liereyy. Another tower here. This will really deny a lot of map from Mr. Yo. One thing that I'm not liking here is that Yo is not doing anything else from towers to defend himself, man. That's not a good way to defend yourself, man. He's heavy on the stone, but the stone just got denied. And Liereyy is attacking him with towers, with skirmishers, archers on both sides. Blacksmith now for Mr. Yo, trying to do stone walls. Another tower coming for Mr. Yo. Okay, so Mr. Yo on full defensive mode, as I told you guys, and Liereyy trying to go aggressive. Ooh, stable now for Mr. Yo. Is he going for elephants, for knights? What's he gonna do? Oh, there's an elephant here. Now also adding monastery. Interesting elephants, yeah? He might be able to take down this tower here. He's doing 2 TCs. I don't know how I feel about those TCs. They are really exposed, eh? Look at this. Oh, I saw a monk. Monk dying for Mr. Yo. Liereyy with huge number of skirmishers and archers, also making knights. That's interesting. Mr. Yo is playing this like in an arena, doing few units, lot of monks, now trying to make siege. This DC was a mistake. Oh, this mangonel shot. This is totally in favor of Liereyy, guys. Look at this. That DC for Mr. Yo. He still has a safe gold, safe wood. But this DC here is bad news, and Liereyy with skirmishers, monks and more mangonels. I cannot see a counter here for Mr. Yo. He's trying to do more monasteries, but I don't think that monks are a good idea. Liereyy already realized that this guy's coming for monks, and he has his own monks. He has skirmishers. Oh man, that was an early game. That was an early GG. It seems that Mr. Yo was trying some approach like the one he did on the game with the Ethiopians, trying to focus on monks and maybe making some mangonel, but this didn't work. He went for really exposed TCs and did no army on feudal. When he went for castle age, only one elephant and a few monks. Really questionable choice of units and strategy by Mr. Yo. I think that a regular archers with this map would be much better, man. I don't know what happened here. Liereyy had already 3 TCs, booming. Yeah. That's a sad ending for this series, because I was expecting some game like the Huns against the Ethiopians. Anyway, Liereyy won 4 against 3.